Okay, can we make a start, please? That's up to me. I'm sorry for the late start. I've just finished my tutorial, so. So this is the community meeting. Your opportunity really to hear what's been happening probably for the last 3-4 months or so with Nanog as in the organization, as well as I suppose the mailing list and everything else. So my name is Philip Smith. I'm the steering committee chair have been from end of October till, be the October this year. So for this year in that size. What we're going to cover, I'm going to go quickly through a steering committee report so you really see what's happened or the major highlights of what's happened for about the last 3 months. Todd, the program committee chair, will give a program committee report. Alex will give a mailing list committee report. Andy Rosenzweig is sick, so Jason will give the merit report in his place. And then we have opportunity for open discussion. Now, as with any of these meetings, microphones are always open. There's one microphone there. So if you want to ask questions, please use the microphone. Some of these meetings have had lots of questions. Others of these meetings have been, when's he going to stop talking so we can go to the bar? So please use the microphone. State your name, because the whole session is, I think it's being recorded, at least it's the video camera's at the back there, so if you state your name, use the microphone so I don't have to repeat the questions, that would be great. So, getting into the steering committee report, your current steering committee are these fine individuals here. Betty Burke is the merit appointee. Betty unfortunately had a bit of an accident at the start of this year, so she's currently off work, off sick. So Andy Rosenzweig is standing in for her. Andy, unfortunately, is also not here at the moment. So I can't say stand up Andy. But we've got Randy Bush, Steve Feldman, who was elected in October, Jared March, also elected in October, Chris Morrow was re-elected in October, Alex Pilosov is ex officio as MLC chair, Joe Provo, myself, and Todd Underwood serves ex officio also as the PC chair. So can the steering committee stand up? And steering committees, some of them anyway, they're all recognizable by blue badges, hopefully. Okay, so the ex officios didn't get the blue badge to merge with the yellow and the red badges. Or was it pink badges you got this time? Anyway, steering committee are recognizable by blue badges. So if there's anything you want to talk to any of the steering committee members about, you should know how to find us if you didn't recognize us when we stood up. I should also say in October, it was the end of term for Bill Norton and for Joe Ebley. So Joe Ebley was the past steering committee chair. I'd like to thank Joe and Bill, of course, for their sterling service in the SC during their terms of service. Okay, so the highlights since the last NANOG, since 41, well, we had charter amendments approved. There was a vote on that. So the amendments have now been implemented, so they actually are on the website under charter. So you can have a look there and make sure that they actually were what you all voted for. If you're considering any other charter amendments, please do. If any other things that should be added in there, deleted from there, I'll cover those in a little section later, pop them onto NANOG Futures and so forth. We can all have a nice discussion about them. Other things that happened, we added as part of the charter, we added the MLC chair as an ex officio member of the SC. Up to October, we had this kind of strange situation where we had mail list folks, but they were kind of just not really given the proper respect within the structure, I should say. So we've made the MLC chair ex officio member of the SC, which much improves the interaction between the mailing list committee and the SC. We've also called the mailing list committee a mailing list committee rather than mail administrators, so and got that language sorted out through all the charter and documentation. So that was the second charter change. And then the third charter change was really the removal of text specifying various internal processes, because it started looking as though we're micromanaging the PC, which we definitely absolutely don't want to do as the SC. The PC should get on and do the good job they're doing. So that was the tidy up on the charter. We selected new PC members. Todd will probably cover all that, who the new members are or not, or what. No, he's not. Well, look on the website. I didn't list them there because I thought this was going to be covered by Todd. But anyway, so we selected new PC members. It's SC responsibility to select new members of the PC. Of course, we sought input from the community and the PC as well for who those members should be, or to the volunteers. Chris Morrow from the SC actually serves ex officio on the PC. So we have the reverse. So Todd serves ex officio on SC, and Chris serves as ex officio on the PC. So it's a quite useful two-way thing. We brought the MLC up to 6 members, so the 5 from the community and 1 from merit, with the MLC chair now properly serving ex officio on SC. Nanog infrastructure migration. There's dedicated server for Nanog, so everything but the main list and the website is now going on to the dedicated system. So the Nanog Futures mailing list, for example, is now on the new system. The new system is basically ready to go for the main list and the website, but we thought doing it the week before this event was probably not the best idea, given the merit folks are working pretty hard on the preparations for this event. We also had a look, working on the preparations for Nanog 42 and the preparations for future Nanogs. One thing it always features in the Nanog Steering Committee conference call agendas, if any of you read the minutes, is that we're always asking about, what's happening for Nanog 46, Nanog 48, and so forth. We're trying to look at least 18 months ahead, so we're planning Nanogs 18 months ahead, so it's less surprises for you guys, so you get a better idea which coast we're going to head to, or whether it's middle, or whether we're heading into Canada or somewhere else. So you get some idea of where we are, and it's easier for merit to try and get good hotel rates for the event. We hold fortnightly telephone conference calls. We usually all can make it, just depends on our travel. We publish the minutes, so we've got all the 2007 minutes at the URL put up there. 2008 minutes, we're catching up with the clock with those as well, also published. So feel free to read them. Please give us feedback on any of the discussions and so forth. It would be fair to say that I don't get a great deal of feedback at all. We have the various mailing lists. We all know the Nanog mailing list for engineering and operations discussions. Always welcome there. We've got Nanog Futures. That's intended for use for discussion about Nanog itself. And I suppose you talk about engineering and operations as well, but that probably should more belong in Nanog, the actual Nanog list. Nanog Futures is about the future of Nanog, the event, or the makeup of Nanog, why we've got all these committees, or not got all these committees, or what's happening here, or I think this should be happening, and so forth. That kind of discussion should go on the Nanog Futures list. If you want to contact the SC, we have our own mailing list, email address, steering@nanog.org. Most of the traffic on there is spam. I'd love to sort of reduce the spam level, increase the amount of content that comes in, but it's been deathly quiet. nanogpc@nanogpc.org is how to contact the PC, and the mailing list committee have nanogadmin@nanog.org to contact them too. It's admins@nanog. I should have picked that up from, yeah. I will fix. They both work, but I'll make it admins. And then you get the latest, greatest. Okay, so those are the mailing lists. So Nanog Futures has a pretty low subscriber rate. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's like 200 or something. Sorry? 268. Okay. It's low compared with the 8,000 or 9,000 or so that are on the main Nanog mailing list. So in one way, it's a little bit disappointing, but on the other hand, well, if only 268 are really worried, maybe nothing too bad is happening with Nanog itself. Who knows? Anyway, that was really all I had to report from the SC side. Are there any questions for anybody at all? Because if there are no questions, it'll be Todd.
Thank you, sir. I can answer questions. Not difficult ones, though. I'm going to take the, oh, I like that. That's very nice. That's very nice. I'm not going to give slides because I don't think it merits them. Well, that's one reason. The other reason is I didn't prepare any. So those are the two reasons why I'm not giving slides. A couple things. The attendance at this NANOG, we're still looking through the final numbers, but it looks like it may be the best attended NANOG since the bust. And we're interested in figuring out why that is. Not that it's a bad thing. It's a great thing. But I'll be talking to as many of you as I can to figure out why you're here and why you weren't here last year in the same place, because that was not a particularly well-attended NANOG, and this one is. A couple notes. So I can introduce the program committee if you'd like me to. They're up on the website under General Information Program Committee. Bios are up there. It can give you a sense of who these people are that are evaluating their your submissions. We're from small companies and big companies. We're from operators and vendors. All sections of the industry. Academics are included. Reluctantly. No, I'm just kidding. We like the academics. Come on now. Academics, see that? And so I think one of the things I wanted to comment on is just how the submissions went for this NANOG. The general process is you all submit talks not early enough. We rate your talks. We have calls to discuss your talks. We put minutes from those calls up online eventually, although we're not nearly as diligent about it as the steering committee is. And then we pick some of the talks. In the past, we pretty much picked all of the talks that weren't blatant marketing drivel. This time we were fortunate enough, just honestly, like it used to be the case that unless the talk was supremely awful, it just got accepted because we didn't have enough talks. Recently, we've been getting a considerable increase in the volume and character of talks. And there's a couple things that remain difficult that I do want to talk to this audience about. One of the things is we would desperately like to see more talks from actual operators who have some interesting case study from their network. What they did, a migration, an attack mitigation, a new infrastructure that was put in place. I think that operators frequently see the talks that are put together by vendor marketing departments and think, well, my talk's not going to be that polished, so I shouldn't do it. What you should know is that the program committee pretty much falls over backwards to help actual operators put together good talks for this program, because we believe that's the most important content at NANOG. So if you even have the vaguest inkling of an idea of something that might be interesting, please find and talk to one of the program committee members. We have yellow badges, and we're pretty outgoing and friendly and helpful, and would like to help you put together a good talk, and we'll mentor you through the process. The other comment I wanted to make is that we've been moving considerably earlier, and that bit a bunch of people in the hind parts this time. Talk submissions closed, and immediately after they didn't close, but we filled up the program. And immediately thereafter, we got 8 or 10 really solid talks from people who'd just been too lazy to get it done earlier, Tom Schul. And sorry, my bad. So what I'd like to say is talk submissions for NANOG 43, which will be in New York and Brooklyn in June, will open almost immediately after this NANOG. And if you have a talk that you'd like to submit, please don't wait 2.5 months and think that sometime in the latter part of May we'll still be filling up the program, because it will be full by then. Let's see, other comments I wanted to make. Was there anything else? Lots of good submissions. Yeah,
I have a comment on that, Joel Yegley.
A program committee member.
Yeah, I'm on the program committee, so I'm yeah, it's all my fault. But
and yours.
And his. And but even if you just have an idea for a talk, and you think you might be interested in talking, submit that. It becomes a straw man, and we'll bug you when you don't submit slides before we have a meeting. So that means we'll follow up with you at that point. Thanks.
Yeah, that is actually an excellent point. The electronic submission system allows you to submit an abstract without having any slides, and then it does turn into a point of us harassing you to get the slides done. So if you think you are irresponsible and lazy but yet have a good idea, there's a way for you to externalize the bothering process to us. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, we do. Yes, sir. Another program committee member.
Joel's point, I don't need a mic.
Okay.
If you think you have a good idea that's worthy of being talked about, submit it. Don't wait. Love to hear it.
It's true.
You know what? You'd be surprised. People don't submit good ideas.
Well, while Ted pulls his foot out of his
Lucy, hey, Lucy, how many committees do you sit on where you see crap? Right. Submit your ideas. We love to distill them. They're good ideas.
yes, it's true. All right, moving on. One of the things we would like to see is not moving on. Okay, I'm sorry, we're not moving on. We're back to Ted. Thank you, Kobe.
No, I'm going to make a goddamn point here.
Okay, make the point.
No. You're making fun of it. You're right. It didn't come out right. If you think you have something worthy of speaking about, submit it. Don't wait, because the volume of garbage we get on the program committee versus the good stuff is amazing. I would prefer to rate good stuff than garbage. I have one more cycle to go in this mess. Thank God. I'm saying submit good stuff. It's not hard, people. You all have good ideas. You know what you're doing. Propose the talks that make sense. Don't propose crap.
All right. On the note of don't propose crap, thank you, Ted. Ted Seeley, everyone. I think we will call it corollary Ted Seeley number B, is that if you don't submit any talks, you must not kvetch about the quality of talks that were submitted by other people. All right, moving on. You guys got the point. Submit some talks. And seriously, while we're here in NANOG, if you have an idea for the next NANOG or the one after that that you would like to talk over with a program committee member, find one of us. Bounce it off of us. We may say, that's a great idea, or we may point you to someone else who has a similar idea that might be able to help you share the work, or we might point you to similar talks that have been given somewhere else. So seriously, bounce those ideas off us. A couple of questions for you guys. We are publishing minutes of our meetings. There's no evidence that anybody reads or cares about those. You do read and care about this? Fine. Someone else. Marty reads all minutes. All right, so some people good. So we will keep trying to publish those. Okay. Well, I can't check the logs. It's hidden behind the screen of Merit. Okay, that's great. That's good. So I don't like administrative busy work, but if people actually read those and find those useful, then we will continue to do them. Lightning talks are open, and this is a dual audience comment. If you have a lightning talk that you'd like to submit for this conference, all you need is an abstract and one good idea. Tony Capella is famous for not getting any talks in ever, but getting badass lightning talks that would be appropriate general session talks at the last second. So if you're like Tony Capella or anyone else, it's true. Submit lightning talks. For program committee members, can you please rate the lightning talks that are in the tools already, because we've got a session to fill up for tomorrow. And not enough of you have voted yet. So stop listening to me and go vote. The V6 only hour, that's not our fault. I'm sorry. No. The V6 only hour, you all saw the publicity about it. You saw the flyer. You will not have normal internet connectivity during that. So you can either spend the hour futzing with your laptop trying to get it to work, or spend the hour listening to my colleague Martin Brown present an interesting talk. Martin, there's Martin Brown right there. He'll be presenting during that. So, and other people are presenting as well during that. So the choice is yours. Any other questions for the program committee? Comments about the quality or character or distribution of talks in this program, or questions for us about process or why we have yellow badges? No? No, the blue is the steering committee. Orange is the, I don't know what. Orange is the mailing. Is it orange? Is it pink?
You're supposed to know this.
I don't know. All right. Thank you all very much.
So probably people that are actually on the program committee should probably stand up like the steering committee did so that, recognize us. Come on, raise your hand. All right. Come talk to us. If you have a good idea, please come talk to us. Talk to us anyway. We like to talk.
Okay. Okay. So this is a mailing committee report, and there are 6 of us right now on the committee. Who is the mailing list committee? It's well, that's people on the slide, and I think right now in the audience it's Sue and Marty, who should be on the slide but isn't. Can Sue and Marty please stand up? Where is Sue? Oh, right. It used to be that the mailing list was run with the iron hand by Susan Harris until 2005. It was transitioned to the community. So since then, it's been run with not so much an iron hand by the MLC, and the strength of the iron hand has varied over the last few years. The authority that we have is from the steering committee, and if you really like to see how exactly it's described, it's in the charter, paragraph 712. What do? We enforce the AUP. We cannot change the AUP, and our mission is really to not so much as to enforce, but to make it more useful. I don't know how many of you in this room actually read the mailing list. Can just out of curiosity, if you read the mailing list, can you raise your hand? It's about half. Interesting. So I think we have still a ways to go. The list, it's an interesting point that the list seems to be a little bit disconnected from the conference right now. That the people who go to the conference don't necessarily read the list, and people who post to the list, the most frequent posters to the list, I've never seen them at the conference. So it's an interesting idea, and I think that should be fixed in a way, that people read, the list is a public face of Nanog. People subscribe to the list, and if they see constant garbage on the list, they are not likely to go to the conference to see the talk, because they think it's going to be the same garbage and talks as it is on the list. So you can blame me for that. We are not the MLC is not the. You can hold comments until I'm done, please.
And this is not a police.
Really, the MLC so far has not been acting as a police, as in telling people what they should and they shouldn't talk about. We really expect people to be adults and self-moderate, not to post about crap that is really stupid. in being very rude, but let me just give you some statistics. How the list is. Number of subscribers has been steadily growing. About I think about 100 people a month, roughly, well, or 50 people a month. Number of people who are on futures, which is the list to discuss the activity of the conference and activity of the mailing list in general, has not been growing in a proportionally the same manner. So that really means that not enough people care about or not enough people know about this. This is the current acceptable use policy. It's the same as the last one, only that there is one addition about autoresponders being prohibited, and there is no more rule against the aliases. It used to be that if you had to post with your real name, which was judged to be a stupid idea because we don't really know what is your real name or what isn't a real name. So that has been removed. So if you want to post as George W. Bush, you can. As long as it's something relevant, nobody's going to care. Some statistics between the last conference and today. We had we given 6 warnings out. We have banned 0 people. And right now we have 2 people with 2 warnings who, if they post again and they get another warning, they may or may not be kicked out from the list. I think, I'm not...
Quiet in the back.
Well, I don't know if this is too many. We have recently adopted the official enforcement policy. How does MLC act on warnings and bans? The summary is that any MLC member can issue individually a warning without particular vote, but if the list member does not agree, it can, list member can appeal to full MLC to vote, and the ban will need to be voted by the full MLC. Both of those things are somewhat theoretical because there hasn't been any appeals of warnings and there hasn't been any bans, and that's kind of why I would like to keep it that way. If only everybody cooperates. What can we do for the mailing list? I know that many people don't subscribe because of simply the volume of the mailing list and the signal to noise to ratio being really not good enough. As MLC, we don't have, as much as I try to post to the threads and comment what is on topic and what isn't on topic and what I would like to see more, it is, first of all, it is very time intensive to even read each message in the mailing list and understand the issue and then try to guide the discussion. And I used to post for few months the thread summaries after the thread ends to summarize what has been discussed, what has been the opinions given. Unfortunately, I really don't have time because each thread summary takes me 3 or 4 hours to fully research and write up. If there are any volunteers who would like to do that, that would be very nice. If you send an email and say, I would like to post a summary of a thread to the MLC, and then we'll say, sure, go ahead. Another thing very important. Posting stupid things is not currently against the AUP. And this is just a fact. Unfortunately, we cannot kick you out from the boat just because you're posting real crap. And I don't know if that needs to change. I'm kind of hoping that people would kind of get the point that if enough of list members respond and saying, you're wrong, you will stop posting the same crap. But in case of certain people that we all know who they are, they don't. and unfortunately they don't get the warning because we can't warn them for this. What do we want to do as MLC? Thread summaries. I try to do that really time intensive. If anybody wants to help, go ahead and help. Marty had an idea of posting thread statistics and per poster statistics, just to see who are the people who post the most to the list, and hopefully those people will start posting less. Because I'm not saying that in every case the most frequent posters are the most irrelevant posters, but in many cases that is true. The same thing about thread statistics, which threads have been getting a lot of volume, and a lot of volume also usually means somebody just doesn't get the point and perpetuates the thread. There was another idea of having for threads that don't really belong on the list, to move them off to a blog or to some website where the people who are really interested in this can continue the thread without rest of us having to read through that crap. That is being discussed. It's something that's up in the air. Maybe not. We're still thinking how to implement this. If you are really interested in discussing this, post to futures. Oh, also the futures is the place to discuss anything about the mailing list. Don't discuss the mailing list itself on the mailing list. Discuss it on the futures. And at least subscribe to the futures so you can know what's going on. The traffic on the futures is probably 100 times less than traffic on the mailing list. It's not that much more crap to read through. The long-awaited migration from Majordomo that we used to run to Mailman. Everything is migrated except for the Nanog list itself, which hopefully will be moved soon. As soon as me and Sue from Merit can sit down and finish a couple of text, the subscription page, small things. We'll probably do that soon. The changes will be mostly user invisible. If you are subscribed to the list, you don't need to do anything. If you want to unsubscribe, you will need to visit the web form to unsubscribe. I'm not sure if there is a way. There is obviously a way to do by email, but that will change. The email address will change for the unsubscribe message. The digest, if you're reading the mailing list as a digest, will be an option on Majordomo, so you don't need to subscribe to Nanog Digest, but you need to subscribe to the list and then set the option for a digest. But if you are currently subscribed to a digest, nothing's going to change for you. So this is it. Mailing list, we are all, some of us, half of us, maybe less than half, on the list. This is our community. This is you and me all post to the list. We like to keep it moderated by the community, not by actions from MLC. I think somebody, Mr. Roderick Beck, has accused me of being the Putin of Nanog. I really don't want to be that. That being said, I do have the authority. How can you see what the mailing list is, what MLC is currently doing? This is unfortunate, and I take full responsibility for this. This is still in process. We will put the automated filters because there is a group of posters who are banned from the list, and there are some, I think, subjects like autoresponder emails that are also automatically filtered, and there is currently a rule against the CC to other mailing lists because it's against the AUP. All those filters need to be on the website. They are not yet. We will put them once the migration to Mailman is done. Monthly statistics, we also need to do, that needs to be done once the migration happens. Once we have some access to the mailing list server, then we'll have some scripts to give the statistics. Public minutes of monthly meeting of MLC. We do now have conference calls for MLC, roughly once a month, sometimes slightly less than once a month. We do take minutes, but we don't have them on the website yet. We will. Now it's the time for the questions. Mr. Randy Bush. Wait, Randy is not the first one to the microphone?
Peter Harrison, shopping.com. A lot of these questions that you have, a lot of the things that you've mentioned as features could be addressed with a forum software that could allow greater participation. Has the mailing list committee considered something like this?
We've discussed this, and basically the idea was that people are too busy to visit a forum, and it's pretty. It's not a good idea. I mean, if you want, it would be very interesting to have a show of hands. Who would like to see, instead of the mailing list, a web forum?
Okay.
Yeah, not that many. I mean, the idea of a forum to move the threads which are not really on topic has been discussed, but not as the main resource. Go ahead, Lucy.
I have Lucy Lynch, Internet Society. I have 3 comments, one related to the list membership versus attendance, one related to threads, and one related to Monarch, just so that I remember for myself here. In terms of the list membership versus the attendance at the conference, I go lots of places around the world and recommend that people join this list. There are many academics who join this list. This is a heartbeat for them. It lets them know what's going on in this community. They are never going to attend. That doesn't mean the list is not useful to them. So making a metric that says attendance at this meeting is directly correlated to the content of the list is probably not accurate. That's a data point.
Okay, interesting.
Second, in terms of threads, if a thread goes on a long time and you don't have time to summarize, make a request to the list that someone summarize. That may actually kill the thread.
That's an awesome idea.
You can probably kill the thread.
I will make a next time this happens, I will make a post. If you want to post to this thread, make a summary of every previous post, and then you can post. That will work.
No,
Excellent.
don't make a rule. Ask for a volunteer. I guarantee, old listmaster here, guarantee you can kill the thread.
Excellent
and
idea.
the third point is if you're really migrating to Mailman for the large list and you continue the web archive, please get somebody to rewrite the Monarch back end for the web archive, because the default is butt stupid, particularly in terms of threads.
I think the Mailman has its own archive thingy that...
Her point was
No,
it sucks, Caterpillar's
no.
not.
That's not my point. Monarch is what Mailman uses for its back end. It has a set of default filters that come with it. They are poorly crafted for anything that's an active list.
Gotcha. Would you help me with that? Yeah. Excellent. We have a volunteer.
Randy Bush, IIJ, to the point that the list and the meetings are, or should be, or aren't correlated. I think you have measurable data. The minute people started flying to this meeting, the list went dead. And I think what my takeaway from that is that the active members on the list get below critical mass.
I absolutely agree.
And so, what more do you want? This is good.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, Jay Hennigan, Impulse Internet. I just want to say regarding the discussion of migrating to a forum or a web-based type of thing, for truly operational items, I think that the email list is by far the best format because we see it immediately in real time. Most of us have an email client up and running all the time and are not necessarily monitoring, actively monitoring websites.
Yeah. All right. I'll turn it over to the who's next.
I just mentioned as far as web forms and things go, we have talked about it a bit on the steering committee, and it's pretty much what you've heard is if there's interest, it's something that we could do. We've talked about a forum, chat type areas. Also talked about setting up wikis, either taking advantage of the coupon one or setting up a separate one. There's all sorts of ideas like that floating around. Two things that need to happen for us to do them is one, there has to be interest in actually using something, and two, there has to be somebody to set it up and babysit it.
Good point.
Okay, thanks, Alex. So next we have the merit report. Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason Russell, filling in for Andy Rosenzweig, who's filling in for Betty Burke. So as everybody knows, our meeting is being hosted by CRG West. Some additional contributions are provided by GNI, who provided the wireless point-to-point networking and related assistance. Trango donated wireless radios for this meeting. As usual, Tony helps out with wireless and other routing expertise to make sure the network's running the way it should be. And Dwayne Wessels from the Measurement Factory provides the DNS, DHCP, Squid Cache, and other services. Also, as has been the case for several years, Aaron provides some funding to help with the webcast infrastructure and other associated expenses. And Internet 2 is continuing to provide the distribution servers for the webcast. The 4 break sponsors that we have, Force 10, Lynx, Cashfly, and PCCW Global. You can see here the list for beer and gear sponsors for Monday night. The group from Merit that's on site here, Carol Wadsworth and Gail at the registration desk, David Gilbertson with the network, myself with the webcast, and now this. Larry Blunk working on the authentication gateway, Valerie helping with the program committee, Sue Joyner, and Betty Burke, incapacitated right now because of an injury, but getting better. Also, we have started a internship program. So our membership back in Michigan, we do have an intern, Pete Hofswell, who's helping with the network. And then Don Welch, our president and CEO, will be here about 7:30 tonight, I believe. As mentioned, the IPv6 hour, there's been discussion about that. Please complete the survey so that we can get good back information about that. Some stats from Albuquerque, 450 total attendees, and then you see the breakdown from there of paid hosts, 139 newcomers, one student. So on the financial side, started out with a balance of $200,000 in change. From that, as you can see, the breakdown of revenue and expenses, the meeting was well attended and enabled the NANOG balance to increase by about $33,000. A lot of that goes towards funding hotel contracts and things 18 months in advance. So future meeting sites has been discussed earlier. The next one is going to be NANOG 43 in Brooklyn, hosted by Telex. NANOG 44, joint with Aaron, is going to be in LA, hosted by Centergate Research Group and USC. And 45 is still in the works and should be announced soon. There has been some interest in trying to get a meeting in the Caribbean again, which didn't seem to work out a few meetings ago. And we'll see how that turns out. Other updates, the website has been in progress of redesign for the past several months, and should be available shortly, I hope. And then there's been some updated changes to the webcast. Some of what I spoke about at the Albuquerque are these changes of improving the cameras and the encoding hardware and software. What has been done for this meeting is to take what we were doing as demo testing of using Wirecast for the webcast software, better hardware, tunneling the unicast feed back to the distribution servers at Internet 2 in Ann Arbor, which also includes QuickTime format in addition to Windows Media. Things that we haven't done, we had looked at demoing, actually tried demoing using FireWire over fiber to get the video back from the cameras, and just wasn't scaling well for the way we need to set up the ballroom. Native multicast from the event venue depends on the abilities of the host to provide multicast as well as V6 in many cases for other needs. And also moving to Merit-managed Windows Media and QuickTime servers instead of relying on Internet 2 to provide those. And hopefully those should be available before the next meeting. At least the server side should be available by next meeting. Some stats on the archives that we host, number of hits and data transferred in October, November, December, and January, just to give you a sense of how much hits it gets. In October, it was when we posted the archives, so that's when most of the hits come and sort of dissipates after that. So that's all from Merit. I know I kind of flew through it, but I was also just the messenger here. So, any questions? Not sure what I can answer, but all right, good answer. Thanks.
Okay, thanks very much for that, Jason. So the rest of the time we have here, well, 5 minutes according to the agendas, open discussion time. So it's really, floor is open to you. Any questions in general for any of the committees, Merit, anything else? So microphone is there. No? You don't have to have the questions now. I mean, if there's nothing for open discussion, that's fine. But I mean, you're welcome to contact any of the committee members at any stage through the few days here. So if it's steering committee issue, you know where to find us, blue badges. Program committee, you know where to find them, yellow badges. Mailing list committee, at least Martin and Sue and Alex are here. You know the Merit folks. So, well, I think that is all. That is it. Thank you all very much for coming. I hope the reports were useful and what you expected. If you didn't expect this for the community meeting, let me know what you did expect. Then we'll make it better the next time. Right? Otherwise, this is it. This is the end of the meeting. I believe there's a social event now, so please go and enjoy it. Thank you all for coming.